It all started when my dad started drinking because he had a disease that could not be cured. He started drinking to forget and feel less pain. My parents were divorced for most of my life, but we spend the same amount of time with both parents. That's how we wanted it. I have a younger brother who was 13 at the time. Because my dad drank most of the time, I always watched over him. But my dad never abused us in any way, let that be clear. It was 2 years ago that he died. I called my grandma to tell her that my dad was not answering his phone, and that's very odd because he would always text me back if I called him. So I called my grandma to ask her if she could go check on him. I went to school as normal, but then someone came into class and asked me to come with them. At that point, I already knew what happened. My dad died. The thing was, I did not cry at all. All my friends were crying, but not me. I just felt broken at that time, like a hole that will never be covered again. Then we went on to go to my brother's school and tell him. Seeing him cry was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life. Because I was his oldest son, I had to take care of a lot of stuff, and from the day my dad died, I had to stop being a kid and become a grown-up. But I was by no means ready to become an adult, and that left a lot of scars that I fear will never go away. My dad had a lot of money because he used to work for a company that worked for the European Space Agency. After my mom and dad divorced, he got a new girlfriend that lived with us for about 7 years, but that ended as well because she was a bee. He had his last will written down, but it stated that his former girlfriend would get a quarter of everything. But my dad told me that he removed her out of his last will 2 months or so before he passed away, and that we did not have to worry. Turned out he did change it, but forgot to pay the bill that came with it, so it got destroyed. Now we had to share with that bee as well, who had absolutely no right on any of it, so we asked if she would remove herself from the will, but the bee said no. We eventually had to buy her out for 25,000 euros.